I am interrupting this moment of yours not to make you afraid, but to draw you closer to the protection I have prepared for you. My child, pause in this moment and listen with a tender heart, for there are reminders that do not come to disturb your life, but to keep you from stepping onto a path that has not yet been illuminated. This is not a meaningless coincidence in the middle of your long day, nor is it merely a passing voice that disappears. I am touching you with gentleness, yet with solemnity, because there are movements around your life that your eyes have not yet fully seen. Arrangements being formed, doors being protected, and things I do not want you to miss simply because of weariness, distraction, or doubt toward the very feeling I placed within you. My beloved child, I sent help ahead of you long ago, even in the moments when you thought you were only managing everything on your own. There has been quiet protection standing between you and what could have wounded you. There have been delays not to punish you, but to keep you from entering something before its appointed time. There have been doors that closed, not because I rejected you, but because I saw what was hidden behind those doors. There were unexpected interruptions that confused you. But later, you will understand that in those very moments, I redirected you away from a path that would not have brought peace. I am your Father. I do not only care for what you can see, but I also preserve you from what you are not yet strong enough to recognize. I know that recently you have felt pressure heavier than usual. Perhaps you have seen things delayed in a strange way. Plans that seemed close to completion suddenly blocked. Conversations becoming tense. Confused thoughts arriving without warning. Perhaps your heart has been unable to settle, as though some opposition were trying to distract you from what truly matters. I want you to understand that not every disturbance has the right to make you afraid. Sometimes, disturbance only tells you that something new is drawing near, and the old things are trying to keep you in the familiar place. When a good door is about to open, you need to be calmer, more watchful, and more firmly anchored in my voice than ever before. But do not mistake my warning for a call to panic. I do not lead you through chaos. I do not need you to act hastily, tremble, or prove your faith through rushed actions. I lead you by deep peace, by clarity that grows little by little, by wisdom that helps you know what must be kept, what must be released, what must wait, and what must be crossed over. If there is a battle you cannot see with your natural eyes, then you must also remember that the battle is not greater than my power. Darkness may create noise, but it cannot rule your life when you remain under my covering. Fear may knock at the door, but it is not allowed to sit on the throne of your heart. You have been marked to receive protection, not because you have never been weak in heart, but because you belong to me. I know your name. I know every worry you carry. I know the times you prayed in silence, the times you wondered why your path had so many obstacles. I saw your steps when you kept moving forward, even though no one encouraged you. I saw you trying to keep your heart upright in seasons when it would have been easy to be pulled into bitterness. I saw you many times wanting to give up, yet still keeping one ray of hope directed toward me. That very ray of hope is where I am breathing new strength. That very endurance is something I do not overlook. And in this season, I am teaching you to recognize that pressure is not always a sign of failure. Sometimes it is a sign that you are drawing near to release. There are dark things that want to distract you by making you focus on the wrong thing. They want you to stare at the delay and forget the one who is fond of raving the timing. They want you to look at the sudden attacks and forget the protection that has already covered you. They want you to doubt yourself, doubt the calling, doubt the future, and even doubt the good thing I planted in your heart. But I tell you that you do not need to follow those voices. Look at their fruit. If a thought causes you to panic, condemn yourself, lose peace, and move away from truth, do not be quick to consider it my voice. My word may correct, but it always leads you back to the light. My word may warn, but it always opens a way for return. My word may be solemn, but it never drives you into despair. Your next season requires obedience, but that obedience is not an outward ritual. The obedience I desire from you is that you know how to stop when I tell you to stop, how to close what disturbs you, how to stay away from voices that cloud your heart, how to return to sincere prayer instead of chasing anxiety. Obey by protecting your peace. Obey by refusing to open the door to things that have pulled you into confusion many times before. Obey by doing what is right, even when what is right is not always easy. Obey by believing that I can lead you step by step, even when you do not yet see the whole map ahead. I am restraining the things that want to cross the boundaries I have placed around you. I am calming the waves you thought would drown you. I am restoring order in places that have been disturbed. I am separating you from things that disguise themselves as opportunities but only drain your strength. I am drawing you away from concerns that do not belong to your calling. In the coming days, you may realize that certain things you once clung to will gradually lose their power to attract you. Some doors you once tried to open will no longer hurt you when they close. Some people, some habits, and some thoughts will reveal their true nature, not so that you will hate them, but so that you may become freer, lighter, and brighter. My beloved child, do not ignore the peaceful prompting I place within you. If you need rest, rest in me. If you need silence, to be silent so you can hear more clearly. If you need to set boundaries, set them with gentleness yet firmness. If you need to return and correct something that was wrong, do it with humility. If you need to wait longer, wait without allowing your heart to become bitter. If you need to step forward, step by faith, not by haste. I will not abandon you at this turning point. I will illuminate what must be illuminated, expose what must be exposed, protect what must be protected, and give you wisdom at the right time. Therefore, let your heart become still. You do not need to fear what is moving around you, because I am above every movement. You do not need to let pressure define this season, because I am turning pressure into watchfulness. You do not need to believe that delay is failure, because I can use even delay to lead you to the right place. You do not need to fight in your own strength, because I am the one who goes before you, stands beside you, and guards behind you. Remain in my presence today. Guard your heart from confusion. Trust that my protection is covering you in ways you have not yet seen. And when the next season opens, you will understand that I use this very warning to awaken you, strengthen you, and lead you into what is good with a heart that is watchful. Pure, and full of peace. There is someone who has been quietly plotting what is not good behind your back. But my beloved child, before you recognized that betrayal, I had already seen everything clearly. I heard the words they spoke where you were not present, saw the intention hidden behind the smile, and knew the sharp edges concealed beneath words that seemed harmless. Those words once pierced your heart and hurt you so deeply that you did not know how to name the feeling. That betrayal once shook you within and made you wonder why someone you trusted could treat you that way. But I say to you today, that chapter is not outside my hand. Before you entered that pain, I already knew the road you would pass through. Before you cried over what had broken, I had already written the ending of that passage. You do not need to take revenge. You do not need to become the judge of your own pain. You do not need to run everywhere trying to prove who was right, who was wrong, or who did what to you. Stand still in my peace, for I know how to defend you without allowing bitterness to infect your heart. I know your instinct wants to protect yourself, to explain, to make others understand that you were treated unjustly. I know there are times when you want to tell everything, expose every wound, name every deception so that no one misunderstands you anymore. But my child, not every battle is won by a loud voice. There are battles I win for you in silence. There are opposing hands that will lose their strength when you no longer feed them with anger. There are lies that will collapse by themselves when my light begins to shine upon your life. Let me prepare a table for you in the presence of those who once doubted, underestimated, and thought you would never rise again after what they did. I do not lift you up so that you may look down on others in pride, but so that you may understand that my righteousness never sleeps. The power of my protection is covering your life. You have not been abandoned amid hidden schemes. You are not alone before the things others try to conceal. My messengers have been sent to guard what belongs to you, to watch over paths you have not yet seen, and to block what could have touched you more deeply. This moment is not ordinary. My beloved, the fact that you stopped, listened, and allowed your heart to be awakened is not an accident. I am calling you out of confusion and placing you back into clarity. Only a few days ago, you cried and asked me whether I still saw you, whether I still cared, whether your life still had a good plan. I heard that question not only as sound, but with the trembling inside your heart. And my answer remains, yes. I see you, yes. I care, yes. I still have a plan for you. Not only do I have a plan, but that plan is beginning to open even while you do not yet understand it fully. Many things are moving behind the curtain that your eyes cannot yet see. Your name is being mentioned in rooms you have never entered. Conversations you know nothing about are being touched by me. There are people thinking of you, considering you, remembering what you have done, what you have sown, and what you have silently endured. I have placed favor for you in places that have the power to change your direction. A recommendation, a decision, a connection. A door that seems small can become a great opening when I breathe upon it. You once thought you were forgotten, but in truth, you are being remembered at the right time. You once thought the silence was a sign that I had moved far away, but in that silence, I was preparing something for you that others will not be able to sabotage. I hid you for a season, not to bury you, but to protect you from hands that were not pure enough to touch what I placed within you. I kept you in the hidden place, where few people saw, where you learned endurance, humility, discernment, and trust. If I had revealed you too early, some people would have tried to pull you back through jealousy, words, doubt, and old bonds. Therefore, I covered you beneath my wings, so that your roots would grow deep before your branches stretched wide. But now, my beloved child, it is time for you to rise, not to rise in the noise of retaliation, but in the light of maturity, not to rise in order to prove yourself above anyone, but to step into what I have promised with a heart refined by fire. I want you to pause within your heart, not to seek attention from people, but to answer me with a deep agreement. Father, I am ready to receive what you are sending down. That agreement does not need to be loud, but it must be sincere. It is the moment when you stop resisting my guidance. Stop clinging to old pain as the only evidence of your story. Stop allowing betrayal to define your ability to trust in the future. Let your yes become the seal of the protection I am placing over your house, over your family, and over what I have entrusted you to steward. When you surrender, you do not lose strength. You are placed under a power greater than your own strength. When you trust, you do not become weak. You step out of the burden of having to control every outcome by yourself. There are chains in your family bloodline that are breaking, the cycles that have repeated through generations, the fears passed from one person to another, the seasons of lack that made hearts shrink, the sicknesses, shame, inferiority, and failures that seemed familiar. All of them have no right to continue passing through you as an unchangeable sentence. I am placing an end point at you. You are the one called to rise and declare through your life that the old thing is not allowed to rule forever. Not because you are stronger than everyone by your own power, but because I am with you. I am going before you. I am standing behind you. I am covering you. I am fighting battles you do not even know exist. You asked me for clarity, and this is my confirmation to you. You waited for a sign, and I am placing peace in your heart to recognize the direction. Do not look back with longing at the things I pulled you out of. Do not doubt what I have shown you simply because you still feel pain. Do not return to connections that once drained you just because familiarity makes you think they are safe. There are things I expose not to hurt you more, but so that you will no longer continue walking in darkness. There are people I allow you to see clearly, not so that you will hate them, but so that you will know how to set boundaries. Guard your heart and move forward without carrying burdens that do not belong to you. Step forward with confidence, but let it be the confidence born from knowing that I am establishing every step you take. You do not need to know the whole road in order to obey the first step. You do not need to understand every reason in order to believe that I am leading you out of danger. You do not need to fight through tension, because I have gone before you to smooth what needs to be smoothed. And I will also close the paths that are no longer meant for you. When people speak behind your back, I hear. When people scheme against you, I see. When you cry in silence, I draw near. When you are misunderstood, I still know the truth. And when the right time comes, I will cause the truth to stand firm without you harming yourself through bitterness. Therefore, my beloved child, lift up your head. Do not let betrayal make you doubt your worth. Do not let poisonous words make you forget my voice. Do not let people who do not know how to value you make you think that you are not worthy of love, respect, and protection. I am carrying you through this chapter. I am closing what needs to be closed, opening what needs to be opened, and preparing for you a season in which my favor will speak on your behalf. What I promised is nearer than you think. Your breakthrough is not cancelled by someone else's betrayal. Their schemes cannot be stronger than my purpose. Stand still in my presence. Step forward when I command, and trust that my hand is protecting you, even in the things you cannot yet see. Some people left you, not because you lacked value, but because they could not stand long before the light and calling I placed upon your life. My beloved child, stop asking yourself what you did wrong simply because certain people are no longer staying. Not every departure is a loss. Some people walk out of your life because they cannot understand what I am building in you. Some people cannot endure your peace, cannot endure your kindness, cannot endure your quiet endurance, because your presence causes what is not upright within them to be exposed. They looked at your kindness and mistook it for weakness. They saw you forgive and thought you were easy to exploit. They saw your patience and assumed you had no boundaries. But my child, I saw everything. I saw the times you gave in silence, the times you were misunderstood and still chose not to answer with bitterness, the times you were wounded and still did not allow your heart to become poisonous. I have recorded those things, and not one of your tears has fallen into forgetfulness. I witnessed every night when you tried to keep yourself steady while no one knew you were breaking inside. I heard every small prayer you whispered when the room held only silence. I saw you place your hand on your chest to comfort yourself. You saw you wipe your tears and keep walking as if you were not in pain. People may only see your outward appearance, but I see the cost you paid to keep your heart pure. People may forget the good things you have done, but I do not forget. People may leave after receiving your support, compassion, and kindness, but I do not leave. I am the one who stayed when all other voices fell silent. I am the Father who stood near you even when you no longer had enough strength to call me with many words. And I say to you today, I will repay you in my way, at my time, with my wisdom. Those who once turned their backs on you do not have the right to write the ending of your story. Those who once underestimated you will not decide how far you will go. Those who once took advantage of your goodness will have to witness that I can lift a faithful heart out of oppression, out of being overlooked, and out of being despised. But keep your heart clean from the desire for revenge. I do not lift you up so that you may boast before them. I lift you up so that my glory may be revealed through a life that once suffered pain without losing love, was once left behind without losing faith, was once wounded, yet still retained the ability to do good. You are not cursed. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. Do not let difficult seasons cause you to draw the wrong conclusion about yourself. The reason you have had to fight so fiercely is not because I was absent, but because the calling upon your life carries weight. What I placed within you is not ordinary. The light within you is not small. The mark I placed upon you is not faint. If you did not carry something threatening to darkness, it would not have tried so hard to wear you down. If your journey had no meaning, so many obstacles would not have tried to make you turn back. But you are the vessel I have chosen, reshaped through trials, deepened through tears, prepared in secret to carry light into places that are cold, dry, and in need of healing. No darkness can extinguish what I have lit within you. It may try to cover your hope with dust, but it cannot put out the source of light I have given. It may try to make you doubt your identity, but it cannot erase your name from my hand. It may try to use delay, the words of others, lack, sickness, loneliness, and weariness to pull you down. But it cannot reverse what I have declared. You are not kept by your own strength. You are kept by my grace. You do not stand firm because you have never been weak in heart. You stand firm because my hand has lifted you through every season when you thought you could not survive. Look back and see how many times you thought you would collapse. Yet here you still stand. That is not coincidence. That is my keeping. I have not forgotten the promises I made to you. I have not forgotten the nights you stayed awake, eyes full of tears, heart full of questions. I have not overlooked the whispers you spoke when no one was near, words only I could hear, pains only I could name. I am not like human beings who speak and then change their minds when circumstances change. I do not speak a promise merely to soothe you for a moment and then abandon you in waiting. If I have spoken, I will do it. If I have begun, I will complete it. If I have planted the seed within you, I will also bring it to the season of fruitfulness. What I am doing may be slower than you desire, but it is not late. What I am building may be deeper than you understand, but it will be stronger than you ever imagined. So trust me once more, not with a noisy faith that needs to prove itself to everyone, but with a quiet returning within your heart. Trust me in the way you wake tomorrow. Trust me in the way you speak about your future. Trust me in the way you refuse self-condemning words. Trust me in the way you continue walking even though the answer has not yet fully arrived. Trust me by not closing your heart simply because you were once wounded. Trust me by not allowing those who left to make you forget that I still remain. You do not need to understand everything in order to rely on me. You only need to know that your Father is faithful, and my mercy covers you with every breath. You are under divine watch. Every step you take is known by me. No turn in your journey lies outside my sight. Your prayers do not float meaninglessly in the void. They are kept in my presence, cherished like holy seeds. And at the right time, I will cause them to sprout. Sometimes I allow the burden to stretch your faith, not to break you, but to make you broader, deeper, and stronger. Sometimes I allow the waiting to continue, not because I am indifferent, but because I am arranging things you cannot yet see. There is no delay I allow without purpose. There is no season I use to prepare you that is wasted. In this very hour, I am releasing healing upon you. I am touching the places that have grown weary, the places where sickness once tried to destroy, the places where strength was drained by anxiety and pressure. I am restoring what has weakened, I am renewing your breath, your peace, your steadiness, and your hope. Receive my tenderness upon your body, upon your mind, upon the hidden places within you that have endured for too long. I am calming the waves of unrest. I am breaking the chains of sorrow that tried to keep you in a dark room. I am pulling you out of the heaviness that said you would never get better. You will not live forever under the shadow of what wounded you. I am breathing new strength into you, like wings being lifted to fly above the ground of fear. The storm that came to destroy you will become the very storm I use to lift you up. What once opposed you will have to serve your growth. The pain that once bent you low will become the place where you learn to stand firm. The betrayal that once caused you to lose trust will become the place where I teach you discernment and how to guard your peace. The long nights that made you think you were alone will become evidence that I was always near. My beloved child, do not fear this season. Do not fear what has passed. Do not fear those who have left. Do not fear the pressure that is trying to make you forget who you are. I am rewriting everything by grace. I am turning wounds into wisdom, tears into strength, delay into preparation, and the storm into the platform for the day you step into what I promised. You belong to me, and what I have lit within you will continue to shine.